Good morning, good evening.
Good morning.
Hi all.
Morning, guys.
We have a quorum. Let's get started. Start with small wins, experiments. What are people trying?
Last Monday, we just synced up on the first chapter in designing data intensive applications. So hope to continue. Hope to see more folks joining.
It's awesome. Is there like a calendar scheduled? Can you
Yeah,
invite
Monday
everyone?
and Friday currently we have scheduled. Maybe post this bootcamp will adjust according to however the time suits us.
Awesome. It's a great win. Can you add me to that? I would love to
Sure.
participate as well.
Yeah, sure. Actually, Vijay had scheduled it. I'll ask him to send you that invite as well.
Cool.
I can
Yeah, yesterday Amulya had a question around like how can we continue the upward spiral even after the bootcamp? This is one great way, right?
Right, yeah.
Amulya is there in the invite. I hope she will join this Friday.
I promise I will.
Any other small wins?
Sure.
So, sorry, what is this about?
So we're just trying to kind of read this designing data intensive applications book and then try to sync up with our understanding just to keep ourselves motivated to complete the book and share our perspectives and our experience in the real system designing kind.
Oh, cool. That's good. Is there an invite?
I can send it. If you all can just share your email IDs, right? I can forward the invite to everyone who's interested. Actually, there is a Slack channel where we had started this discussion. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, what is the Slack channel?
Yeah, I think Sadhana, a quick recommendation, like you have email IDs for folks here. So you can send it to folks whenever you are meeting. If there is a recurring slot, send it to everyone. Folks who are interested, they can join. So that way everyone feels they have the invite.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. That is awesome. Great to see that. Any other small wins? Did anyone complete the assignment from yesterday?
Still working on
it. Go ahead.
Working on it, but like I wrote up. So you asked me to work on that PRFAQ, right? I mean, I did not write a complete PRFAQ, but I have like a 4-line.
Yeah, one pager. One pager is all we need.
One pager depends on how big your page is, but I will just put it in the show your work thing.
Yeah, that would help the assignment today. So we'll look at a couple of examples what you guys came up today, and we'll iterate. Anyone else got a chance to complete that?
Actually, I was curious to know, did everybody come up with the innovative ideas in that 5 minutes, or it was what is there in the backlog? Because frankly speaking, I couldn't think of anything so very innovative in that 5 minutes, though there was a gun That's why I kind of refrained myself from updating anything because I was not able to think anything really innovative or something out of the box kind
Yeah,
of something
most
which
of
is
the
not there
time,
for roadmap.
most of the time, all of us have something in our backlog, right? So the gun is intended to get it to the surface.
Okay.
Okay, that's yeah. We'll come to that. Any other success stories from anyone?
So basically what I am trying to do is praising in public and criticizing in private. So I started it in this new team. So, and like a small wins for me is that people have now started approaching me with basically if they are facing any technical problems, first of all. And second thing is, actually a big win for me is that people are also approaching me with if they want to have a discussion around the problems they are facing in their growth, basically. So that is a big win for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's always difficult to position yourself as an approachable person. Is a difficult thing. Great job there. Yeah, look for your golden nuggets. Yesterday I saw a bunch of golden nuggets there. Happy to see the golden nuggets channel. So tomorrow would be our last session on the flywheel, and then on Friday we'll have a ultra speaking session. So try to make it to the ultra speaking session. I have not yet sent out the invites. I'll send out after this session. So the timings would be the same. It's just that on Friday. Okay. So we looked at develop influence and amplify your team, and we did an activity. Let's do one more develop influence activity, and we'll use the example from tomorrow after that. So we looked at why ideas are the new gold. We looked at idea generation frameworks. Today, we'll look at influencing up, right? Develop influence has several parts: developing your peers, influencing your peers, influencing your juniors. Influence up is the highest leverage thing, right? So who promotes you, who recommends your promotion? It's usually people one level above you, right? So your manager is usually one level above you. Your the people who give feedback on your promo doc, people who have influence on your career, people who have influence on what kind of projects that you get, everyone is one level above you. So influence up is a key part of developing influence. And what the best way to influence up is in writing, right? Developing your writing skills. Business writing is super important when you are influencing up. Maybe that you are managing an escalation, you have to send a summary to your leader about the escalation. There might be a SEV1 or a SEV2. How do you summarize it in a business context? It may be you are an example from yesterday. You are writing a proposal and you are influencing your leadership to get funding for it, influencing so that it gets prioritized in the roadmap. Every team has tens of priorities. Why should your idea be prioritized above everything else there is on the roadmap? Those are very difficult challenges, and these are as you grow up, influencing up is kind of expected. It should be your day-to-day activity to influence up, and influencing up through your ideas is specifically what we look for here in this activity. Okay. So I have a hypothetical situation, right? So go through this. So you have to create a proposal that you'll submit to your VP to fund building a new service, right? So these are the this is the situation that you are in, right? So now how do you create like a one pager? We'll do that activity today. the link. If you all can make a copy of this. This should have... So this is the folder. Create a copy of this file with your name, and we'll do and you have 15 minutes to come up with like a write-up on this. So you have to convince your VP to fund building this service. So start by making a copy of this. Have files here. Each of you working on your own file. Any questions so far?
So, Krishna, yeah, this is all great for, is it a why part here, or just go about writing it?
Yeah, go about writing it. Like we'll look at different flavors of it and how to approach it. This is like today with, if you had to do this today, how would you approach it? Write an email or like a one pager that you write and send it to the VP. So assume that you have 15 minutes to write a proposal. Given this context, you have to convince the VP to fund a new service.
And
Right, how you would approach today, and then we'll do another cycle. Then we'll learn a few concepts, and then we'll redo what you do.
And
So this is
Krishna, what is this itemized items? Like we want to make this as like bullet points, or we want to incorporate this in the email? Like what is the...
Yeah, incorporate this in the email.
Okay.
Right. So this is the situation. This is all the data that you are in this team, and this is all the information that you know about the situation, and you now get an idea that we need to make a case for this service. Right. So that's what typically happens, right? So you have a bunch of information. Now you're creating a proposal around that information. So this is the information that you have. And now how do you position it to your VP? That's the activity. So for simplicity, let's assume this is an email that you're writing to your VP, right? So yeah, make a copy and then start creating your version of the proposal. I only see few people putting it in this folder. If you are working on a local copy, can you move this to the folder while you?
Where do you want us to move it? In the same file that you gave it to us?
No, the same folder. I pinged the folder.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, the folder. The second link there is the
Ah,
folder.
I see.
Everyone ready? Okay, Kashyap is ready. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready.
Krishna, one quick question. Is it necessary to add all that information you've given, or is it okay to skip some information because we're sending it to the VP? We may want to send only the relevant part.
Yeah, relevant, right? So we don't want to send. Purpose of the activity is also to figure out what to send, what not to send, right? So most of the time, when you're communicating up, what not to tell is as important or more difficult than what to tell, right?
Right.
So that's okay. I think it looks like most of the people are done. So let's look at some key concepts and then we'll come back to the activity. Okay, keep your, we'll come to each of your items. So if you, when you're speaking, so if you want me to speak for 2 minutes, it will take me 3 weeks of preparation. If you want me to speak for 30 minutes, I'll take a week to prepare. And if you want me to speak for an hour, I'm ready now, right? So this is one of the famous quote from Churchill, right? So distilling your communication is the key, right? So it's a difficult task. Why should we distill our communication? Because when we are influencing up, we are dealing with people who have assume that you are dealing with people who have attention deficit disorder, because that is how they are living, right? So they have 10,000 things burning. Everyone is trying to seek their attention. So if you try to approach it as like, I'm not dealing with a VP. So my VP has attention deficit disorder, because what you tell them today, they may not remember tomorrow. Not because they are incompetent, but because they are almost always drinking from a fire hose. There is a lot of information coming their way. So that's so back to Sadhana's question: what to tell, what not to tell them is super important, because you only have limited mental space in their head. So if you have to maximize your returns, you have to figure out what exactly to tell them so that they can make the decisions quickly, right? So for this, there is this inverted pyramid style of writing, right? So anyone familiar with this?
The TLDR, like we write in the email sometimes.
Yeah. TLDR is a good way to do that as well. So most important information first, then the least important information in the last. Appendices are a good way to like show least important information, like put what you think is maybe relevant, but it's not needed for your main narrative. You'll put it in appendices. So let's look at this example, right? So the first thing to do here is separating signal from the noise, right? So let's separate the signal and separate the noise here. So is this a signal or a noise for the VP?
That's a noise. Why should we know which language we are using?
Yes.
That's definitely just signal. That I think is a signal, because we still have to show him that we need so many people.
I think it's middle ground. Maybe the not really.
But yeah. If we can get the, if we can kind of give him a cost, then perhaps this becomes a noise. If not, we may have to add this information to give him an idea of what it takes.
I think if the VP is like, if there are 2,000 people reporting to VP, 6 people out of 2,000 may not be a noise. If 100 people are reporting, maybe 6 people could be a differentiating factor.
Yeah, true. That is true. And any proposal, people VP would first thing going through their mind is, I have 10 other priorities. I have to put this 5 people here. What is the ROI I'll get? To find an ROI, you definitely need what the cost is. So this is a signal, right?
This I thought is a noise. Maybe bandwidth we don't have is something which we have to communicate, but if busy with the existing project, all of those things can be truncated down to something more appropriate.
Not at the proposal level.
Yeah.
Like we're busy at the bandwidth.
So this is
important from execution point of view, but need to be, you know, converted from noise to signal to present it.
right.
Noise. Yes.
You know, I didn't really see it as signal and noise. I actually thought about like trying to use some of these as data points to help build, you know, like overall sales statement, or, you know, the thing I wanted to say. So for me, when I was looking at it, I was thinking, okay, you know, we definitely need more engineers. I think that's the ask. And we're trying to like say, okay, you know, can we want to do an aggressive project, but, you know, we're currently working on these other things, and ramping up takes time since we have those other bullets. So I try to put these, you know, things together that we're talking about time and, you know, effort, and try to say ultimately like that we need more engineers.
Yes. So that is one option, right? So you're going already into solutioning. Like you can either move people onto that project, onto this new project, or you can hire more people. So definitely, but implicitly you are figuring in your mind, you have already done like how to give a narrative, right? So you have already done that signal versus noise differentiation implicitly.
Okay. I still think that you might need this, so it might be a signal.
Yeah, yeah. This is a trade-off decision, right? So this is the lowest priority thing. If I can't hire, if I don't have budget to hire, I can kill this project and move people onto this, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So this is a good to have. This one.
Unnecessary distraction.
Yeah, didn't
We
really
might not be able to comprehend what's going on here, and
Yeah.
might be a distraction. What is the fraud going on? Stay away from those words.
Yeah. So this is too much information for this. Probably you will need to manage in your project, but for this decision, the VP probably doesn't need this.
No, but like if it's a cross-org effort, right? Then he needs to get a buy-in from the other his peer to get that dedicated resources.
True. So if that is the case, if you have a clear call to action for your VP that, hey, if you fund this, we want you to secure commitment from this fraud team. We can include that in the narrative, but it need not be in the top. So in the inverted pyramid, this is not the most important information. The most important information would probably be what is like what you are proposing, why you're proposing, so what will the VP get out of it?
But it's part of the ROI equation, right? Like, yeah, I mean, it's one thing it's easier to procure resources from the same org, and so that's kind of offsets the ROI.
Yeah, true. That's the reason exactly I included that. Like there are like angles to it where it might be easier to get one person in your team than like 0.5% in a dependency. Right.
It's always good to mention that, to be honest. Yeah, like Amulya said, like it's good to just have that, but don't emphasize too much on it. If it's a completely different team, you know, the scheduling, forget like even securing the budget, like scheduling, everything comes into play. So that shouldn't impede our progress. So
correct. So yeah, totally include this in your narrative, but as an action item to the VP, right? So what would the VP need to do rather than what we need to do, right? So what is it that you want from the VP? Basically go talk to the other VP, get a commitment on this, right? This one.
I thought it was noise.
It's
Nice.
nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's a noise.
Again, noise.
Nice.
Process improvement.
Well, yeah, it's nice. He already knows this, right? Ramp up time for new engineers and stuff. Anyways, he knows this data, most likely.
Yeah, so it could be used for your case if you're asking for new hires to fund this project. This might be needed. Not the most important info. So, yeah.
Yeah, you need this because like, how are you going to like convince him otherwise? You know, you are saying that you need engineers and you already lost a key engineer, but you have an important project to, you know, push out. So this just kind of helps to that, you know.
Yeah, it depends on how the VP is closely tied to the org, the head counts, and like he knows the head counts every month, or like whatever head counts he knows. If we have lost a key engineer, it's generally bubbled up. Most likely he knows this, but it's good to reiterate that.
Yeah, this is again not the main part of the narrative, right? This is something that you should manage internally. It's not something that needed to be surfaced to him to make a decision on this, right?
Kind of shows low confidence that we are equipped to actually deliver the service and work against us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you want to say those things too, because like, you know, if a competitor is going to take 3% of your stuff in a few months, you kind of want to like say, hey, look, we don't have a good engineer. I mean, we don't have a key engineer anymore. So we definitely need to hire, you know, otherwise how are we going to be competitive? You know, we need more talent. That's kind of what you have to say.
Yeah, so that's all probably getting into the weeds. Like, what is your purpose, right? Your purpose of this email is to convince your VP to fund it, right? So this, if you can manage it at your level, reduce the info that the VP needs to absorb, and if you can't really manage, okay, surface it. Like that's the rule of thumb to use. Can I manage it at my level, and can I abstract it from the VP, and can I position this in a way that the VP has only the key information needed to make a decision?
Krishna?
So I saw this as more of a prioritization problem, like reallocate existing resources into try to take this as one of the top priority, than actually really hiring engineers, because hiring ramp up time takes time by the time you are like, you know, away from the market. So that like, I thought more in that angle. Yeah, of course you need to hire, but
yeah, so it's the that could be one option. Hiring is so when okay, so another rule of thumb when talking to VPs is like one way people higher up evaluate the quality of proposals that come to them is they see how many options have you considered, right? That's one mental shortcut they use. So if you are going to any VP with just only one option that you have considered, like they have been trained over years to just reject that, right? So that's a mental shortcut they use. So like so evaluating multiple options and making a recommended option shows them that you have done the homework, you have thought through this from multiple angles. That shows clarity of your thinking. Okay, this point, is this a signal or noise?
Noise.
Noise.
Noise. Noise.
Noise. For this decision, the VP doesn't need to know. These may be like key.
I thought it was a signal.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good data point. I mean, like the team morale is up, so now is the time to do the project. Is that what that means? I don't know.
No, this is just a data within your team. So for this particular project, time. So see, any proposal you can tie it with so many other angles, right? So this is for this particular thing, it's probably not needed. Like team morale is high. This is the right time to do. Yeah, that's probably a long shot kind of. VP will not look at like, hey, is the team morale high? Will I fund it or not now? They look at bigger things, right?
Okay.
So yeah, now that you have signal to noise, right? So this is the main thing. So this service will reduce cost by 24%. It will need 6 engineers. There is some dependency. How do I make a case for this, right? So if you look at the inverted pyramid, what is the subject is a key, right? So VPs get like thousands of email. Every email is trying to get their attention. So if you write, like people spend a lot of time on their proposal, but not enough time on the subject or the first few lines of it, right? So you probably spent 80% of your time on the proposal, but your readers, if you're sending an email to a big distribution list in your company, readers are spending 80% of the time just in the subject. They decide whether to go. So if you look at the time spent on your email by your readers, 80% of it is probably on the subject, right? Because they'll probably ignore the email that doesn't catch their attention, that doesn't show the ROI, and so what is not clear in the email itself, right? So subject and the first few lines are super important. You should spend disproportionate amount of time on those two, right? When you're making a case. So with all of this, right? So can we do a rework on your proposal? So go back to your docs and version 2. Let's do a version 2 on this. We'll take 5 minutes this time. Only 5 minutes. Put the subject, put the first few lines, make the first few lines compelling so that the VP reads more. So goal of your first line should be that they read the second line. Goal of the second line should be that they read the third line. Build intrigue and like, so what and what's in it for me in the first few lines. Let's look at how you do it. But we'll take 30 more seconds. If people are done, we can start with those. Anyone done? Give me a thumbs up if you're done. On Zoom. Let's start with yours. Okay. Okay, let's do like a fun activity, right? So rate Anurag's new subject on a scale of 1 to 10. Just post it on Zoom chat. You guys see the screen?
Yeah, where did you ask us to post in the show your work thing?
No, just post it on like Zoom chat.
Okay.
Yes. This is pretty good, Anurag, like probably better than the 70% of the emails your VP gets. So what can we make better here? Any ideas from the group?
Maybe make it a little short, condense the information.
In the subject itself?
Okay, sorry, no, not in the subject. I was talking about the overall email.
Yeah, overall email maybe. Okay. Subject. Let's start with the subject.
Subject
Does it? So what is the goal of the subject?
Attract VP's attention.
Get him to read the damn email, right? So that's the goal of the subject. So with that goal, what can we change here? So see, COGS savings by 24% in ComSorg, right? So that this is the VP. If I am the VP, I know that there is some, I don't know if this is a proposal or it's like you already saved 24%. I don't, yeah. So, and you are informing me. I don't know if this is an inform, a proposal, or a success story, or like, yeah. So that's
Maybe
one thing that I don't know, right?
Change it to proposal to save COGS by 24% in ComSorg or something like that.
Yeah. So that is something. That's a good way. Can we make it even better? So proposal, adding the proposal here makes it better. So that's clear.
Rather than being formal, we can even say potential as a word somewhere. So that's like, signaling that it's not done yet. Maybe it's still there are.
Yeah, proposal it makes it clear, right? It's something
Right.
that needs to be done. So 24% in COGS org, right? I don't know. I had to do mental gymnastics in my head to translate it to money. So as a VP, like if you make it easy for me to translate it and normalize. So all investments usually how do people normalize, right? It's usually in terms of revenue or money. People normalize the decision. So this the mental shortcut your VP is using is like this investment will need X money and it would give me X money, right? So that's the mental shortcut they're using. Every decision that we are trying to make, they can't make 24% in comms org versus 23% in retail org, right? So how do they normalize, right? So how can they make a decision if they have a conflicting request? How do they prioritize, right? So it's hard for them. So if you can make it in talk in terms of money, right? That makes it easier. That attracts them. So it's hard. So the challenge is most of the time when VPs have less information to make a decision, decisions don't get made. Most people are frustrated that they take a proposal to higher authority and they don't get a decision. That's what I've seen is like at least 80% of the proposals that go to higher ups don't get a decision because you didn't think of like what is needed to get the decision made, right? So how will the VP think in terms of making the decision, right? So how can you, so and if the VP has time, they'll ask follow-up questions. If they don't have time, they'll just ignore that, right? So
to come up with numbers though, like 25, like this is, you're proposing a new service. How do you actually come up with these numbers? Basically, you are proposing some value addition to the customers, and there's how, like, this is a futuristic thing, right? Like, how do you find that exact precise number to give them, like, and not sound like bullshit, right?
Yeah, it's you'll never get precise numbers. So that's any projects that took off, like any project that ever got funded, like hardly ever got funded because they had precise info. You just have directional data, and that is enough to get started. So don't like, this is one common trap I see. Like, I don't have like concrete data to prove the value, right? So you don't need 100% concrete data. You only need like ranges. Back to our estimation thing, right? Ranges are your friend. So I have 50% confidence that this initiative will generate 2 million. I have 80% confidence that this will generate 500K, right? So that range gives you that use ranges as your friend and convey your confidence using that range.
I see. So do we need to explain that, like, or just give the number and expect them to trust you? Like, this is my,
So usually every org has like a way to normalize such decisions. So in my org, it is around TPV, how we convey return on investment. It's in TPV with percentage score. Your org might be using different lingo for that. Figure out that lingo. Your manager or your director would know how to get that. So use the right metric to. So first thing is understand the metrics that get used in your org to make such trade-off decisions, and evaluate your proposal around, hey, is my proposal really moving the needle on that? Before you spend too much energy on creating that proposal, if you think there is a directionally good chance that this will move the metric, then create a proposal.
Got it.
Make sense? So here, if in this specific example, if we can make it around dollar value impact, that would help.
Say 750,000 per month.
Yeah. Cost saving was 750K per month, right? Or like 8 million per year, right?
Yeah. I mean, in my case, this was easy because vCore costs are public, so you can easily translate it 24%. How much?
Yeah. So proposal cost saving. Proposal save 8 million per year. What is the full form of COGS?
The capital. I mean the cap. Like when you build a project, your build VMs, cost of deployment, cost of your
Cost
build.
of goods sold.
Yeah,
I just saw the on the internet.
it's so common that I forgot the actual abbreviation, but it's like the not the like running costs, whatever is the running cost to maintain a service, so they are considered as COGS. So any COGS reduction is like money saved.
Yeah.
I was
So
just-
this is slightly better. This probably now intrigues, like VP has incentive now to read the mail, more incentive than here to read the mail. Right. So, and it's, so basically you're trying to make your readers' life easy and attract them into, pull them into your content, right?
I added
so-
architect because I found something that when I shoot random emails, people think, hey, it's just somebody just got up with some idea and shot it. When I say I discussed this with architect, it means that, okay, somebody is already vetting it out. It's not like my random thoughts.
Yeah, you're trying to leverage your Austin's trust with the VP to, yeah. So that you can probably also do with by CCing Austin and
yeah.
So yeah. So anything around so start with like we propose we propose project X to save 8 million per year with an investment of 6 SDs for 2 years for 5 months, or like translate even 6 SDs for 5 months also into dollar value, right? So so with 8 million, so you're translating like say that 6 SDs for 5 months is 4 million, just to, for simplicity. Proposal to save 8 million recurring in comms org by investing 4 million one time, right? So that is like, yeah. So the VP's mouth will already be watering if you position it that way. So, got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's. Anyone wants to go with another example?
Can you just open mine? Mine, I don't know. I got a feedback from one of my manager, and I kind of started writing it in a different way. It's like it will be very precise in a bullet format, and then say what exactly we're trying to convey instead of writing it in paragraphs, right? Paragraphs, people hardly, even if I have to report an issue or get some, if I'm sending a email to say some 30 odd people to kind of get their attention to help me solve an issue or anything, right? This is something which I got a feedback from my manager. Don't write it in paragraphs. You hardly will get any response. So from then I started following something like this. So
I think that feedback is valid, like having sections, right? Like paragraphs narrative is like, there is like a cultural aspect to that, right? In Amazon, at least, there is like index on narratives. Bullet points are frowned upon. It's like adapt to your company's culture, but key thing is sections, right? Having clear sections helps. This is a good way to format, because VP can decide whether like they don't have to read everything to understand what is this about. They can skim through faster if you have sections and if you have organized it in sections. Good.
So apart from this, one idea which I got was, if you can map what you are proposing to the goal which your company has taken or your org has taken this year. Let's say I'm able to say that our org is actually trying to go profitable and we are focusing on operational cost, and so we can reduce per delivery cost by this initiative. If we can map it to org level goal, then actually it becomes very easier to get it prioritized.
Yes. Get it prioritized and also get support from everyone.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Good point. Okay,
And
so let's. Sorry.
one more feedback. I'm not sure whether it is right or wrong. Should we be? I mean, how good is it to use exclamation in writing a formal email?
Right. It depends on if it's in your org, it's fine. Use it, and if you are getting value out of it, use it. Here, the subject. This was intentional. This explanation in the.
Yes. I mean, I have this habit of putting exclamation, but then I got a feedback telling don't add it. So I was just kind of curious why does it give us something does it make it look informal or does it give a bad impression? I just wanted to kind of understand.
So my first reaction was like, why is there an exclamation point? But maybe I'm like primed to Amazon writing style where it's not used usually. So it's not adding value to this per se. Exclamation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay in like our formal WhatsApp chats or whatever, right? Yeah, not. Yeah,
not in the official.
But it's not a deal breaker. That's why I didn't brought it up. That's okay. People, it's okay. People will not call you out on it, or as long as your content is good, people will not call you out on it, or like they won't reject your proposal just because of that.
Okay.
Not a deal breaker. Okay, let's do one more activity. So there is this yeah. So let's do this. So create a subject out of this. What is the subject? So this is a school's notice board. What should be the subject of this one? Don't say it out loud or anything. Like think in your head, and then once I tell you, you can post it on the Slack channel. Just 1 second. Go back to read this. Ready?
Can you go back to that this one, or can you paste that this one? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything. I mean, even if I want to think seriously, I'm not able to come up with something better. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a school's notice board, so this is very appropriate. So very appropriate. This is the right answer as well. So
they will not read right below if you say no school. That's the only thing. After that, nobody's going to read.
Yeah, they laugh and go on. So that's the purpose also. So yeah, if you can convey it in one line, why convey it in 10, right? Yeah, so that's true. So if you want, if your intention is to make them read that the governor is here, maybe use a different subject line. But this concept is called burying the lead, right? So so lead is like your subject. Start with the lead. Like when people find write-ups confusing is when they don't know what are you trying to say. So lead with what is it that you want people to take away, and then write the info. We're naturally wired, Amolya, somehow to pick the right things. So
when we have kids, we always are wired that way. Oh, they're not going to school. Like, what do we do? Like, we have to plan for the work. And should I tell my wife to take a few hours off? Or like, all those things comes into play right away.
Yeah, so again, back to the point. So don't bury the lead, start with the lead. So if at all, what is the 20% thing that can make your emails 80% better is using like first few lines of your email. If you can spend more time there, like make them better. First few lines is where 80% of the people read that, right? So they won't read the next few lines if you're sending it to a wider distribution. So headlines are key. Spend disproportionate amount of time on the headlines and the first few lines. Convey the core of your message in the first few lines. TLDR. So let's look at, we have 15 minutes. Anyone wants to volunteer for their write-up from the yesterday's activity? We can do like a group exercise on how we can make that better.
I posted mine in the, so this is for the business idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a very short read, like, let's scroll up.
Scroll up, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this one, okay. Let's do activity around this. So we'll use your page itself. So this is an email to. So what is this? This is an email or a?
Yeah, I mean, I did not incorporate any catchy technique.
That's okay. That's totally fine. So we'll do it now. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is basically come up with this business idea and kind of PR FAQ, right? For like try to convey the idea to the.
Okay, so let's read this and let's try to make it better. Provide a framework to define customer flows within time app. So this is the proposal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do the signal versus noise thing and what else they will care activity here. Okay, so it was customers want.
Yeah, it lacks any of those ROI stuff.
No, that is fine. The purpose is to learn by doing, right? So don't feel bad about it at all. So this is totally fine. Don't beat yourself up. That's not the intention of the activity. Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
I didn't realize that PR FAQ is supposed to have a ROI. Yeah. I thought it was just idea, but yeah.
I have got this feedback that when I say enterprise customers want ability, normally they say, how do you know their want ability? Do you have some communications? Have you had some feedbacks? How many have voted? So if you can say that, hey, out of 1 million customers, we have like, 100,000 asking for this feature, or a particular high value enterprise customer is wanting this feature, then it says that, okay, I can bring in revenue by doing this.
So I don't know how an engineer will have, so who will, at least on Amazon, anybody can write a PR FAQ and kind of bubble it up so to the VP, right? So how do we, how will an engineer have that visibility? I know that our competitors like, Slack and all, they have such a framework and we don't. But like, I don't have the numbers to tell how many enterprise customers will actually like it. because I don't interact with them.
So for that, like I normally meet up with the product managers of our team, because they are the ones who communicate with users or service engineers or other avenues where the customer interaction is pretty high. Because being backend engineers, we rarely get to actually discuss with customers.
Right. Yeah. So, okay.
Or
Yeah.
there is like feedback. I think all companies have this public feedback channels where customers can vote. So, you know, like certain features, there's a highly upvoted feature. So something to say that, hey, this is not, this will have some ROI basically.
Right. Yeah.
See, all ideas start with a hunch, right? So Amulya right now has a hunch that this would be a beneficial thing for her customers, right? So then, like writing that hunch down itself clarifies her thinking, and then now she can take this to product, vet how to think about it, and that's right. So a good way to like couple of hacks, right? So when you are proposing ideas, especially new investment, pitching it as an experiment versus like a big build always gives you an advantage. People are less resistant to your idea. If you position it as a experiment, hey, I have a hypothesis that if we do X for our enterprise customers, we'll get more revenue. So then put like TBD, how to figure out how much revenue, right? So anticipating friction and reducing friction within your own proposal makes for your chances of success are higher.
Maybe if she can propose that, hey, maybe we start this feature inside Amazon first, then probably going outside, see how much feedback we are getting.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Amazon itself uses Chime. So we'll propose as an experiment, like within Amazon, can we figure out a way to? That's a great suggestion. Like reducing the blast radius, figuring out whether this hunch is right with a small build and a minimal set of customers, and pitching it as an experiment with a hypothesis is always more welcome than big proposal that needs 10 SEs. Will get shot down when people hear the 10 SEs, right? So that's one big hack when you are trying to get prioritized, when you are trying to influence business, right?
Yeah, to go with Anurag's suggestion, right? Like, but it would still require the engineer's effort to actually implement it. Like, if you do it within Amazon, you won't get any money, right? So, but you still need to build a product. That the task is to get that cost covered from VP, right?
No, I think VP would. Anurag, do you want to answer that?
So I would say that, say, if you, there are different types of products, I guess. Some are called loss leaders. Some actually bring revenue, but they are not the future. They just bring in revenue. Some are actually the new items which will bring in more revenue, like which Wall Street gets interested in. So if you're building this effort, first you should say that is this cost cutting? Is this adding incremental effort, or this is an entirely new product? So if you are adding a feature, I would say first start with your team. Let's see if you can, there are people who can actually vote into it. Maybe put an experimental feature which can only acts maybe in one of the channels, if it's possible, like in Chime. Then you build that, hey, I have already did this experiment with like 4 or 5 people. They are interested in it. I would like to connect with a product manager who can actually take it forward. So you're not asking directly VP to say a yes or no, but you are getting him interested in your idea rather than going for a yes or no. Like get an inch, then get a mile.
Yeah. Goes back to startup pitching analogy also, right? So when you are pitching your startup, people, if you just have a PowerPoint and you go ask for funding, that's you will get one kind of a response. If you have small prototype and validated your idea and you already have 2 paying customers, you will get a certain different kind of response from venture fund. If you have already 100 customers and you have iterated it a couple of times and now you have kind of found a product market fit, now you need the money only to scale up, you will get different kind of venture fund interest, right? So that's you use that approach, right?
Because certainly, like when you say you will scrub the PII, have you like gone with the technical feasibility whether this is a feasible solution or it's like an NP hard problem? How do you scrub out anything like, so at least a prototype that, hey, we can effectively scrub something out, because I have read a lot of things they were scrubbing. So some kind of technical feasibility as well.
We already have something like this.
I'm just for like thinking out what is the
Yeah.
risk involved.
Yeah, depends on what you do, the definition of PI, but emails and all, they have a certain format, right? Those we can scrub.
Yeah, I think now is probably not the time to dive deep on dissect all of those. Like get the 10,000 feet view right first, right? So what will it do for your customers? How will this bring revenue to your business? So is this like a customer acquisition problem that you're trying to solve, or a revenue increase problem that you're trying to solve? Make that a bit more clear. We can. So let's go there, right? So this is, I'm still unclear because I don't know about your business, right? So we probably all have a different view of what this problem is in our own head, right? So can you talk about like what is this like a revenue bringing idea, or is this like a new customer bringing idea? Like this will increase.
It's a new way of using the messaging apps, right? So message like in Slack and all, you can actually schedule notifications. So it's not difficult, but yeah. So for example, you want to there's an all hands. Yesterday there was an all hands and I missed it because I didn't know. So if there was I didn't check my calendar, but I check Chime more often. But if there was a notification saying, the all hands is starting in 5 minutes in my messaging app, right? So that would kind of, it has more chances of me looking at it and actually catching that meeting. So stuff like that. So there's new ways of, people almost do the entire like before after email, like before COVID we rarely use Chime, but nowadays it's all people are on Chime like all day. So that's the like get everything done in one place kind of usage.
So example for this workflow is calendar notification within Chime, right?
Right, calendar notification, and like the one I was mentioning, it's an ask from our customer support that they want to scrub the PII so they don't have to go back and do the audit, who all had access to the customer's data. And
example, customer support engineer should not be seeing customers PII while troubleshooting.
So shouldn't we be pitching more also about, since you're already in last paragraph, you're already talking about there's a way of doing it, but there's probably some friction on that way, like using SQs or SNS. How many % of people use that, and what kind of friction does it add? Shouldn't we also try to add some statistics around those as well?
Yeah. I could post more numbers, but right now it is kind of, people need to be technically savvy to actually configure SQs and allow listing them. I mean, that's not something that you expect out of an external customer, right? You want to make their job easier if they already have something within their service, if they can actually build something using the SDK, that would enable them without having to.
So my suggestion is, let us pitch that friction as well. That there's this friction. These nowadays there's a friction still there these percent of people are using it. If we reduce that friction by this much amount, then a percentage of usage probably might increase. That
Right. Yeah. So that's why I missed the ROA part of this. Like, what is the friction and how does it translate to dollar amount? That I still need to tune my head to think that way. But yeah, so I think that's what is missing in this.
So,
Yeah, again, this is a new muscle to build, right? So this is usually engineers are not thinking this way, and there is no one who teaches engineers to think this way, right? So that's the problem. So don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up. This is a new skill that you're developing. That's totally fine. So RJ had a comment there, like opportunity to increase customer activity with check, right? So that's probably how you're mapping. One way to map. Going back to Ruchi's previous comment on like try to figure out what is your org's goal, and if you can map it to this activity, which org goal are you moving the needle on with this? If you can pitch it that way, you'll get easy alignment with people, because everyone in your org is already thinking in terms of how to meet that goal. If you can position this as, oh, this will help in meeting X goal in this way, it would be much easier for you to sell this.
Right.
So another perspective is, why would you want a customer to do this exercise? Why not expose this as a feature as part of the whole SDK itself, rather than them having to build the queues and everything? Let's say you build it as part of the Chime product itself, right? Rather than working on the webhook and they need to provision the servers, they need to do some provisioning at their end. Just like an option, and you can internally, nobody cares, you use SNS, SQS, or probably the best choice would be Amazon Macie, which is going to scrub the PII, makes your life easier rather than provisioning all these things, but whereby there is less work at the customer place. So option by customer, you can enable PII or HIPAA compliant or GDPR, because the requirements changes at the customer place constantly, and every customer is different. Why not be integral part of the product itself? I know that's a bigger.
Yeah, so the goal is to enable custom workflows, right? Yeah, if people have to wait for our feature launches, with the idea is to actually enable the customers to define what they want to do. That's what Slack does. It's not a novel idea. Like Slack has an app directory, and people can write. They have an SDK, similar thing. Basically, you can, as long as you're authorized to, the app is authorized to do things in your workspace. Basically, it can actually notify you whatever it is designed to do. So it's very easy to use SDK. Like it can only basically all it does is post messages. So that's there are like thousands of apps published in Slack app directory. So I think it kind of builds an ecosystem and enables customers to use it in an innovative way.
Yeah, and so when you're pitching that, maybe like you propose couple of apps that Amazon will build, so that you solve for Karthik's problem. Also, you are making customers build it. Why can't you do it? So Amazon would. So we'll provide this framework to build apps, and also build a couple of apps as an example, or like most frequently asked or most popular apps. We'll build it ourselves.
Right.
That could be one. Yeah. Anurag, you had a question.
Yeah. So Krishna, if you can share a similar thing which you had proposed, removing the proprietary information, a good one and one bad one which actually got rejected. Want to see the nuances between the two. If you can share a good and a bad proposal that you have done yourself. So.
Yeah, I'll figure out how to scrub data, and I'll do that. I have a couple of good examples from my team as well. So engineers doing it. So I'll scrub data and I'll share it.
They'll scrub PII.
Yeah, scrub PII. Sounds good. Good session today. Thanks, Amulya, for volunteering for this. I know it was like a quick write-up that you did, but hopefully you got a lot of value out of doing this.
Yeah. We were told to time box it 10 minutes, so that's 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. Awesome. Yeah. So this time boxing also helps us like go like beat the analysis paralysis. It's like if I had given you 1 week to do this, you probably wouldn't have made this much progress, right? So that's like, yeah, that's another hack. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow. See you. Bye.
Thank you.